BBC Hereford and Worcester.
Now, it's September almost. Are you one of those people who's been telling the Sleep Council that September is a bad month for sleeping? The Council, along with the Stress Management Society, has been conducting research into the impact of stress on our sleep and has concluded that next month is problematical for a lot of people. Jessica Alexander is from the Sleep Council and Neil Shah is founder of the Stress Management Society, and they're both on the line now. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Why is September a particularly stressful month then?
I think September is stressful because you're coming out of the summer holidays and hopefully the weather's been nice, the daylight has been long, and suddenly we've had the last bank holiday before Christmas. We've got a long haul to go. There's a lot of change happening with people our kids starting school, changing schools, going back to schools. Suddenly there's all these pressures of deadlines and things. Work starts getting busier. And the stress levels start to rise, and they carry on rising as the winter approaches, as Christmas comes along, and through the winter months.
And there's a direct line between that stress and not being able to sleep.
Yeah, 3/4 of the people in our survey said that they have trouble sleeping when they're stressed, and I believe that this is a not untypical response rate in other surveys. This is one of the factors about being overly stressed is you can't sleep. But there's a catch-22 here as well, because if you can't sleep, one of the reactions people have is that they get stressed. So, nearly half of people, or a third of people, say they get stressed if they can't sleep. Another 40% worry about it, or another 9% get upset. So, if you can't sleep, it stresses you out. If you're stressed out, it affects your sleep patterns. So it's very easy to get into a vicious cycle.
And the fact that our children are leaving us, either to go back to school or off to university, or just leaving us full stop, does that kind of create an empty nest syndrome, stress-related thing as well?
I'm sure it does. I mean, again, it's about changes in lifestyles and change in life, which is always a stressful thing for people to deal with. And so for the parents, it's quite often a sad time. I mean, obviously, they've done their duty. The children are fleeing the nest and going their own way, but it is a sad time. They're leaving home. And it's also stressful. And in fact, people between the ages of 16, 20 to 24 demonstrated 3 times the level of stress in September than the sort of overall survey results.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing that it's so monthly rated.
Yeah.
So, Neil, what do we do then with all this stress? How to get rid of it and not lose our sleep?
The first step is recognition. Most people that we talk to, and we've recognised that they're stressed through some of the studies or the tests that we've done with them, when we say to them, are you feeling stressed? They say, no, I feel absolutely fine. But physiologically, they are in a state of stress. Most of us are so used to living in stress, we've adopted it as our normal state. We don't recognise it until it's already too late because we've got ill, or it's got worse and we've had a heart attack or a breakdown or a burnout or some other kind of serious and significant health-related issue, both physical or mental or emotional health-related issue. So the key step is to pick it up early enough that you can take action to do something about it. Proactive lifestyle changes are so important, ensuring that we're giving the body what it needs. The body needs rest. It needs time to relax. It needs exercise. It needs to be hydrated. So, ensuring we're drinking enough water. Good nutrition. A big part of the stress that we bring into our bodies, we are consuming because of the poor diet choices that we're making.
Are you saying that drinking water helps you sleep?
Absolutely. If you are dehydrated, not only will you be weaker, but our bodies are about 70% water. Our brains are about 85 to 90% water. If you are dehydrated, you will get headaches and you will struggle to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, unfortunately, if I drink too much water at night, I won't be sleeping.
Yeah,
but I get the point. I'll tell you what I do, and I hadn't ever put the two together. This time of the year, I feel anxious enough to go out to the gym a lot. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel if I don't go and do a good session, I'm not going to sleep tonight. And so they're saying that they're not unrelated facts, those. But we need a technique to help us sleep, and it isn't turning to alcohol.
Absolutely. So staying away from stimulants. So in the last few hours before sleep, staying away from things like alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, refined sugar products. Exercise is a great way to relieve stress, but I'm going to encourage people not to do any form of heavy physical activity in the run-up to sleep because it raises the body temperature, increases the heart rate, things that will prevent you from being able to shut down for sleep. There is only one caveat to that. There is one form of heavy physical activity that will raise your heart rate and increase your body temperature that is particularly good at bedtime. And that's sexual intercourse.
Yeah,
Because
I was waiting. I knew. I just was going to wait.
There is science behind this. That your brain will produce dopamine twice as much in men as in women, which is why we find it easier to fall asleep after we've been intimate with our partners. So that is a great thing to do in the run up to bed. It could be some light reading, listening to music.
It just sounds exhausting. Is all I'm saying is it just sounds exhausting. But I get the message. What's the cut-off point between stopping your exercise, and therefore your body getting too hot, and then sleeping? Is it 3 hours gap between the two?
Yeah, it's recommended that you have about a 3 hours gap between exercising and going to bed. With caffeine, it's about 6 to 8 hours. So cutting off caffeine from sort of mid to late afternoon onwards. Alcohol, again, it's about 4 or 5 hours. So basically ensuring that from late afternoon onwards, you're minimising the amount of stimulants that you're consuming or the way you're stimulating your body. But there's also another factor. It's not just what you're putting into your body, it's how you're stimulating your mind. There was some research that was published recently about blue screen technology. So anything that has a screen, like a mobile phone, a tablet, a computer, a laptop, even a television, exposure to blue screen light in the last 90 minutes before sleep, you'll struggle to get a good night's sleep.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So start shutting off your technology.
You need to be reading a book or something. So the message is September's not good for sleeping. You've given us the reasons, all sorts of stressful factors, back to work, children back to school, all of that. And the things to do are keep hydrated, drink water, exercise, yes, but not 3 hours before. No coffees and teas and alcohol, immediately before. Try to avoid just going from the telly to the bedroom and then have sex. And then we'll sleep fine. That's the message, isn't it? Well, I'm glad I've simplified that. Thank you very much indeed. That's Jessica and Steve. It's very kind of you, that, because it is a